Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Ordinary Guys Show.
Hello.
Hello to the Skycam. I think that's the one that's on.
Yes.
It is?
We're
okay,
good.
Cool.
Yep.
I always like to, hello, everybody. I always like to look at the wrong one normally.
Yep. That's how it normally works around here.
Yeah, so we have a ton of big news today. And this is more or less of, I have come with topics and you get to see Frank's response. Because I don't know if you've noticed from watching the episodes, Frank doesn't really keep up with current events. Typically, I talk about them before the show and he goes, what's that about? And then I explain to him. So this time, I've decided not to explain any of them to him. He's known about a couple of them, but for the most part, this is all totally foreign to him. So,
and by known, like I've heard something, whether it's, so here's the deal. I try not to listen to the news. It just pisses me off, right? So during the mornings, like as I'm getting the kids ready for school, I usually have like one of the morning, what is it, Good Morning America or something like that. And then every now and then I get suckered into, what is it, Ripa and Ryan. Ripa and Ryan in the morning.
So now it's Kelly Ripa and,
Ryan. It's Ryan Seacrest and
Kelly
Ripa. And to be honest with you, like I appreciate that better because there's some current events, but it reminds me more of like our show. They're just having fun.
I like Ryan Seacrest.
Right, Ryan Seacrest I think is great. They're just having fun. They're having a good time. But you know, the morning shows, it's all.
Who was it he replaced? Who was the one that was there before?
Was it Regis and
Kelly?
Regis and Kelly.
Yeah, and I loved Regis back then.
Wasn't it Regis and somebody else, and then Regis and Kelly?
I think so.
And then Strahan.
Yes, I like Strahan.
I like Strahan too, but didn't he? It was Strahan and Ripa. It was Strahan and Ripa.
We're probably completely wrong. I'm not home to watch any.
I'll look it up.
So
I'll look it up. Well, Janet has been on a cruise.
Well, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Frank's in trouble this week.
Janet has been on a cruise, so I've had to be mom and dad this week. Huge shout out to single parents out there, especially single moms. So guys, get to your local strip club and donate to a single mom. She's going to need your help.
I think every single mother right now is cringing that you even said that.
Oh, man. But I'm telling you, like, you know, I try to have everything ready for the kids before we go to bed, and then they'll wake up in the morning and be like, yeah, remember how I said I wanted that for breakfast? And I'm like, yeah, what, I already made you? And they're like, I just want cereal.
Yeah, and, you know, that happens to my wife all the time. Here's the difference between me and my wife. She'll go and make, like, she'll say, what do you want? And then she makes it. And then immediately that's the wrong thing after that she's already made it, right?
Sure.
So it's like, I want a smoothie. First off, I'm not even offering a smoothie. If I can't cook it in a microwave or I can't put it in a toaster, I'm not making it. But if I do make it, by God, they're going to eat it. So yours evidently do this as well, where they're like, I didn't want that. You just said you wanted that, sort of a thing.
Yeah, so they do. I really won't make it until I get their confirmation. But when it's something like, dude, I don't know about your kids. Mine aren't waking up 2 hours before they have to leave for school, right? I wake up Ava about an hour and a half, and then I wake up Blake about 45 minutes to an hour.
We're about the same.
I mean, he's way easier, right?
We're the other way around.
The older one needs a little bit more time.
No, Landon is the shorter.
Landon's easier. Yeah. All right, so with Blake, dude, this morning, you know, I was like, oh crap, Blake didn't take a shower last night, and he didn't again tonight. God damn it, I'm the worst parent.
No, so, you're not. You're normal.
I woke up in the morning and I was like, dude, we're running out of time. You didn't take a shower. And I said, let me teach you about a whore bath. And he just looks at me. He's like, what? And I'm like, now here we got baby powder.
You know that Janet's going to listen to this.
She doesn't listen to the show. She gave up. Baby powder and wet wipes. So I've got wet wipes and I'm wiping him down, and we call it peanut powder because we sprinkle it on our peanuts.
Oh my gosh.
So we covered ourselves in baby powder, first wet wipes and baby powder, and then I just sent them on their way. But, you know, Ava's like, you know, I'll take, like I want eggs. And I'm like, okay, cool. I crack a couple eggs, and she's like, no, can we do hard-boiled eggs? I'm like, hard-boiled eggs?
Who has the time for that?
I got to sit here and cook eggs, wait for them to cool down, because I'm not peeling them hot. That shit hurts my fingers. But, no, it's been rough, man.
The extent of me, first off, I don't think I've ever been left alone during a school week. Morgan knows better. Because my advice to you earlier, and let's be honest, was my idea of parenting alone is yelling from the couch. So
Yeah.
my idea of that, I don't know if you've seen I think it was Chris Rock special where he talked about his dad when he watched him would just lay on the couch and he would just listen for weird noises. And when he heard one, he'd be like, "What was that? You breaking stuff? Like, you better watch yourself." Like, that's me.
I do the same thing. All right, so we're already getting off the rails here, but so in the morning, so I'm out the door at 8:30. 8:30, I'm out the door, and I bring them both to school, right? So I drop them off. It's absolutely fine. Ava has to go past Blake's class, so she walks them to class. But then I have to be back at 11:30 to pick up Blake, right? And then I come home, and then I got to go back.
So you're on that dual thing still.
Well, then I got to go
sucks.
back at 3:30 to pick up Ava. So I really don't have a ton of time. I've been trying to squeeze in like a run in between or try to clean up something around the house just to be more helpful. But it's so funny because after the time period from when I pick up Blake to Ava, I'm trying to do something. Like today I was painting loft wall upstairs, and I'm doing the same thing. What was that noise? Nothing. You know,
what you really have to worry about is when it's quiet.
Oh, yeah.
Because when it's quiet, that's when they're doing something.
When it's quiet and I can hear the dog, I'm like, something's going on. So I think, like, my son left his lunch to the dog, and I hear the dog, like, rummaging around stuff. I'm like, God, I'm going to be so pissed off. But
I wonder how they live. Do yours come home with, like, most of their lunch still in the lunchbox?
So, used to. They used to for sure. Now they don't, and I figured out why. Ava gets lunch at, like, 11:30, maybe. And she's there until 3:30, so she eats everything because she's learned that she's starving by the time, right? She's starving by the time she gets picked up. Blake, they feed him at 11, and I pick him up at 11:30. So
he knows if he holds out 30 minutes,
it's fine, right?
He can get what he wants at the house.
He gets whatever he wants. So lunch is usually like a Lunchable for him because he'll pick at it or whatever the deal is. We really don't go overboard. Maybe Lunchable and like Goldfish, and then he'll come home.
We send a Lunchable. The only thing that gets eaten is the Oreos.
Really?
Yeah.
So my kids were better. They're getting worse about it. Blake was eating, the cheese, the turkey, and the crackers. Now it's just the turkey and the crackers and the cookies. And I sat there with him the other day for lunch. It's mostly the cookies.
I call Landon the Airbender. The reason why is because I say he survives off breathing air because he doesn't eat. And I get so frustrated because he's 11. You would think he would start eating by now.
At 11, yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't. Like, he'll eat like once a week, like a decent amount.
Yeah.
But it's...
You feel like when you watch him, you're like, oh, he's storing for later because Blake will do that shit too.
Dude, but he's...
a ton.
Yeah, but Blake's what, 4?
He's 4.
Yeah, and Landon's 11. Like, and let me tell you, I get really frustrated because food's expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been to Publix lately, but I hate that place because it drains me. But then I see all this food come back, full jelly, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And by God, we can't have the regular ones that you make that are 10 cents. We have to have the Uncrustables.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then they're wasted.
Yep.
And those
That's
things
the worst,
are like
they're
$1.50 a piece.
Yeah.
And then, the only thing that's gone is maybe his drink. And I'm like, dude, if you don't eat, like, you're going to be in trouble because one, you're not eating. But number two, that's a lot of money to be wasting.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Dude, my son will do that. So the other day, here again, Jan has been out of town. So dinner has been either pre-made, like I've made it ahead of time, prepared, and I wasn't too proud to take them to Sonic yesterday.
I love Sonic.
I do too, and I had a hot dog. Actually, I had 2 hot dogs. I had 3 hot dogs
with buns.
With them. But again, so Blake, remember, he eats at like 11, and so we go at like 5:30 for hot dogs, and the kid eats a hot dog, popcorn chicken, French fries.
He's waiting.
And the drink. I'm like, holy crap, kid! He just stockpiles it.
Yeah, but at least your kids are eating.
Well, I can tell you for a fact that the next morning, like, all he wanted for breakfast was he ate like 4 Fruit Loops, and my kids don't use milk in their cereal. It's so weird.
Yeah, because they dip it in like orange juice or something. Like,
Blake dips his spaghetti in his orange juice.
I know, that's why I brought it up.
So weird, man.
It's so disgusting.
Weird. But no sauce. Like, he wants just plain spaghetti noodles. Like,
Have you ever tried it to see what it's like?
It's terrible.
Okay, but you have tried it.
I tried it.
Okay.
So what it is it's like a juice transporter, right?
It soaks it up like a sponge.
Not even like a sponge. It's just like the outside of it, right? So he just, I don't know. It just turns a spaghetti. Because think about it. Have you ever had a plain spaghetti noodle, like no butter,
I like to eat
no
them
nothing? Raw? Okay,
They're
so
crunchy.
So then you realize that they don't have a ton of flavor.
No.
Right? So it's just like
they're like tofu.
Very similar.
They take on whatever they're around.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? So then he puts it in the orange juice, and it's just like a sweet treat or something
He's
like
like
that.
eating a popsicle, but
so
it's
weird.
a noodle.
So weird. Absolutely weird.
That's so gross.
Jesus. All right.
All right, well, we'll actually get to a topic.
Yeah.
So the main thing that everybody's talking about today.
By the way, was Ripa and Strahan.
Okay.
Yep, we were right.
We're getting better.
We're good.
Yeah, we're getting better at this every day. So the main thing that's in the news right now, two things actually, and we'll get to both, but the first one is Jussie Smollett being let free. So I don't know if Frank knows everything about this. I think he just heard that Jussie Smollett got let go, but he doesn't know all the details of it.
When you said you wanted to talk about Jussie Smollett, I was like, dude, we've already done this episode.
Okay, well, so the prosecutor came out and said you pay a $10,000 fine and we're going to let you go. It's not going to go on your Now, he had 16 prosecutable felonies, like dead to right felonies.
Felonies, we're not talking misdemeanors.
Yes, because he faked a hate crime. All right, this isn't like little. So,
I'm sorry. Is there an actual there's a blueprint for that? Like that's an actual thing, a punishable offense, faking a hate crime? Obviously, there's hate crimes.
I don't know.
You know
I
what I
think
mean?
it would have set a precedent.
Okay.
So I don't know if anybody's ever done this before.
Okay.
But I do know that the prosecutor decided to drop it, and for the $10,000, and I guess the head of the police, I don't know what you would call that, probably the captain, was not even informed that that was going to. Yeah, right? Was not even informed, and there was outrage, absolute outrage, so much so. I was just watching a video that you overheard where Charles Barkley has said the biggest victims here are gay people and African Americans because he played on them, and now the next time something like this happens and it's real, people are going to have doubt in their mind.
It's like the wolf crying thing, right? So, and again, that's just, and again, I'm really terrible at this stuff, and I'm nor gay, which is questionable, or black, which is obvious, right? So, well,
I don't know. You
even that's
blend into that wall.
So I do brown a little bit in the summertime, but if you think about it that way, right? So we are neither of those two things, but that would be like us, using or taking advantage of something that's not like real, right? That'd be me, like, oh, I'm Latino and this and that, whatever, and having a problem with it. But then ultimately, like, I get called out on my shit, and it's not true, right? So then I'm an asshole.
But he's stuck to it.
Right, but wouldn't I be like I would be like a dead to rights asshole, wouldn't I?
But the killer of all this is you would think that they would make him at least do a public apology. He came out and said he's going to continue to fight for rights and that he has not lied. And everybody knows he's lied. God, everyone knows he lied.
That's just like fall on your damn sword already, right?
I don't know if we talked about it, but when the cops came to his house, he had a noose around his neck and was eating a sub.
Well, I know the sub, right? But and the sub was part of like the original crime. Like nobody damaged his sub, right?
Like he never dropped this while getting a noose and bleach on him.
Like who the fuck doesn't take the noose off?
And who carries around bleach? Like there's so many holes.
He went to the gas station. No, he's like, you know what? I gotta get some bleach. I got these white T-shirts I need to clean up.
No, the bad guys were carrying the bleach.
Bad guys were carrying bleach.
Supposedly. And when they were coming up with this crime, did anybody think this is really stupid?
I'm telling you, I know I'm always blowing the guy, but Rogan had that on his on JRE when they talked about that, and it was just like, this is what happens when you let the actors direct.
Yeah,
they're good actors. They'll do whatever you tell them to do, but don't let them write the script.
Yep.
Because exactly that reason, they thought this was a good idea.
This is a very bad idea.
Like, they executed this, which means they thought it was a good idea.
I think if they'd have made him give a public apology and then do some community service, right? Mm-hmm. Because ultimately, he's rich, he's going to be let off. everybody talks about, white privilege. It's not white privilege. It's rich privilege is what it is.
It really
Anybody
is
rich can get away with anything.
Black, white, brown.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. If you're rich, you're going to get off. I mean, look at Martha Stewart. She should have been in jail, in a crappy jail, and she went to, Club Med.
Yeah.
So it's all over the place. But the problem is there's not equal justice to say, if I did that, I'd be in jail forever. If you did that, or Joe down the street did that, they're all going to jail for a long time.
Definitely not the same, but if you're doing, I like to look at, I'm going to use I hate using this word, the climate of that, right? So Louis C.K. is also in the same relevant time period, right? That was within a year, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Maybe a little bit longer. I know what Louis C.K. actually did was 10 years ago or something like that, but that guy does, he starts doing clubs again, and he starts doing some stand-up again, and people are just running him through the ringer. He shouldn't be doing that. They're copying and recording his bits and stuff like that, and putting it on the internet. They're affecting whether or not this guy is got a life or allowed to provide a living for himself. And yet, Jussie, they're it's no big deal. Again, crimes are totally different, right? They're two different realms, but
here's another one that can go right into that, is the whole thing I told you earlier about Cardi B admitted that she used to, I don't remember if she said she drugged, because she was a stripper.
Yeah.
So she would bring home guys, whatever, I'm sure, promise, I don't want to, if this ever gets popular, I don't want to get sued. So allegedly, she would bring them home and get them drunk or high or something and steal their money. Isn't that the same as Bill Cosby?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. If these dudes got fingers put up their ass, then they definitely have some grounds to be pissed off.
Well, still, I mean, I understand that one was rape and one is theft, but it's still kind of, I mean, it's not the same, but it's the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's still a very serious crime, and they're just, Cardi, it's fine.
If you take,
we love you.
The actual crime was different, but everything else, right? So, I mean, that's definitely, drugging somebody against their will is a crime, right? Both of them were guilty of that crime. Cosby's ultimate end game was, or allegedly was, rape, right?
No, he's convicted, so I think we're good.
You're allowed to say that now?
I think so.
So, and then hers obviously was theft. So again, not the same level, but I think they're both
still a bad deal.
Still a bad deal. The fact, and I'm not sure if that's the case, but I think once you've if you got somebody drugged up and then brought them home, I think that's kidnapping.
We'll never know. Because it's a famous rich person.
Hey, I know. So this was, I forget who was on the JRE and used I think this was Louis' joke. I don't remember. But about, did you hear the joke about Cosby?
No.
On why he did it? His excuse?
Oh, no.
It's just because nobody's louder. Nobody's louder than what was it? A fucked up black woman or something like that.
This is the worst retelling of a joke I've ever heard in my life.
I'll find it. I'm trying to skirt around getting in a lot of trouble, so we'll just pretend that never happened.
Okay.
Next.
We'll cut that out.
Yeah.
But not really.
No, we always say that. Sometimes
I do have a slogan. I probably saw it somewhere and I'm just thinking I thought of it. I do that a lot. But I have a slogan for me, right? I'm like an avocado. I'm the good kind of fat.
That's terrible.
I'm pretty sure I probably read that somewhere.
Did you hear that avocados got recalled?
Yes.
Big one.
Yeah, but I got a ton at my house, and recalled or not, I'm eating them.
Well, it was a voluntary recall, which means that it wasn't widespread or anything, but the company that exports from California, they said if you were, say, Mexico, they're good to go. But which is kind of weird. I think that's political. But if they're California, the report said throw them away. And it was just a contamination of, all these bacteria, all they really ultimately do is make you shit yourself.
Which is you every day.
Well, I'm shitting myself when, I'm on my phone, I'm taking my morning dump, and I'm reading this thing about the avocados, and I'm like, I had one yesterday. Is that why I'm shitting my guts out?
No.
And
Could you do it every day?
No, you do shit every morning, same time. Doesn't matter.
So, what is this imposter of an avocado that doesn't have like the wrinkly skin, the smooth one that's a little bigger?
The big firm one.
I freaking hate them.
Yeah, they're not good.
They're disgusting. Word of advice, if you've never tried an avocado, don't try that avocado. They're disgusting. Like, really disgusting. Are you looking up what they're called?
Yeah, because I know that people use them for different things.
Yeah, they should use them to throw at people because that's all they're good for. They're disgusting. And they're harder. Like, they don't have that consistency you're used to.
People say they use them for... Jesus.
They're more citrusy, too.
Yeah, they're not as good. The soft ones are definitely good, but I think people use them for salads and stuff like that where they need them to stay firm.
To where they want the salad to taste bad?
Yeah. I'm sure in their mind they're not as bad, but I know. Dude, I like take my avocado, and if I have my perfect situation is the avocado that I'm going to use is coming out of the fridge. Like it was one of those where it's just about to be right, so I put it in the fridge so that I cut it, it's cold, it's firm. Dude, and I'll cover it in like salt and lime or something like that and throw it on the salad.
Straight out of the husk.
I can eat it out of the husk too, which I enjoy. And then if that's the case, it sounds weird, but I take sometimes I'll make like a little bit of tuna, and I can just put the tuna in where the pit used to be.
Morgan uses them as salad dressing.
The avocado?
Yeah, so she uses shredded lettuce. She likes that better.
Yep.
But you just throw the avocado in the center of it, mix it up real good, and the avocado kind of like goes all over all the lettuce. It's good.
For the longest time, I was adding it to my tuna when I was trying to, because normally like tuna, I'm not the biggest fan, but there's tons of good fat. You know what I mean? Good fat, good protein, and but back when I was doing low calorie, you don't want to throw in all that mayo and stuff like that, right? You know, it's tough. So then I started using like salad dressings, and then when I switched over to low carb, realized you can't quite do the salad dressings. So I started essentially making like guacamole in with my tuna. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not the best.
Guacamole I love it, but it is so much better with a chip.
Oh, for sure.
Dude, there's no comparison.
No comparison.
Oh, we got way off topic.
Yep. Right.
I'm going to pull us back in. So I think we're going to just mention that Trump got exonerated. We won't get too political on it, but you said something earlier is like, what is CNN going to report now?
Yeah, well, the problem I had with that was when that came out, I was watching one of those morning shows, and again, we're talking big. I don't want to say the wrong one. It's either Good Morning America or whatever the other one is. There's two, right?
Again, I don't know.
But I'm watching the show, and they're talking about it, and essentially they covered it almost like anybody else did. What does this mean? Are there still charges? Did he have to come out and exonerate him, or was he kind of forced to? Like, could this investigation gone on? But the one thing that really stuck with me was you have the news anchor basically talking to their legal expert that they have on the show, saying, "Okay, so what can we do next?"
Yeah, like
I'm like, how biased is that? What can we do next?
The best one I heard. And you can fact check me on this one because I love political stuff. So it's like my wheelhouse. I just don't get to talk about it a lot. So one of the reporters came out and said, quote me, how could Trump allow Mueller to do this investigation when he knew he wasn't guilty? He wasted the taxpayers' money.
So now it's his fault.
Yeah, but here's the thing. What would they have done if he fired Mueller? Because they're already all upset about them firing Comey. And then Mueller comes in. If he would have fired him mid all this going on, they would have said, he's guilty, he's guilty, he's guilty.
For sure.
But now he's still guilty because he let Mueller finish the investigation.
Yeah.
It is the most asinine thing I've ever heard in my life.
It's
Democrat, liberal, person on the side of the road that doesn't even know what day it is, all know that is the dumbest thing in the whole world to blame him in that situation.
Yeah.
And what makes me I'm sorry, I'm getting on a tangent.
No, you're fine.
Is okay, so say you're a big time liberal, right? Really what they were saying is Trump is pretty much a government or a coup agent for another government. Like,
Sure.
he was working for the Russians, right?
Yeah, you have to think about how
If
deep of an accusation that really is.
It's
man.
huge.
That's.
And if it would have come out to be true, I would want him impeached and I would want him
so
jailed.
too. I would think so too.
But the thing here is he wasn't. And then CNN anchors such as Rachel Maddow are literally crying because he didn't do it.
Yep.
You would think you'd be happy. Whether you hate him or not, you don't want that to be the case. Just like with Obama, who we both know I'm not a huge fan.
Sure.
I'm very happy that he never got in any sort of trouble.
Sure.
Like, I don't want that to happen because all it's going to cause is consternation and division.
I think we can both honestly state that if someone is elected as the president of our country, like, I feel like as a citizen, I'm obligated to at least show them respect.
Respect the position.
You respect the position, whether or not you fully agree with how they got there or even what they're doing, but like, nothing that is going to change from, today to tomorrow. This person needs and deserves my respect. I mean, they're the president of the United States. I remember when this stuff was going on with Clinton, and I found myself backing him, right? First off, I thought it was pretty cool that he was getting blowjob in the Oval Office. I'm not going to lie. I did think that was kind of cool. But at the same time, thinking to myself, well, he's the president of the United States. Like, whether or not I agree with what he's doing, right? He's the freaking president, and you got to respect the guy. One of the biggest problems I have is when they just refer to our president as Trump or Donald, and
it's very disrespectful.
And in the same conversation, we'll refer to President Obama, and we'll call him President Obama, who's former President Obama and current President Trump, and they'll just refer to him as Donald, never President Trump.
Other side of that coin, I feel that it fuels him. Because here's the thing.
Sure.
He's done everything he said he was going to do. Like, literally everything.
Yeah.
Said he was going to build that wall.
Right.
He beat that veto. That wall's getting built.
Right. But, do you not notice, though, that any other president gets, like, 1/10 of what they get done, and it's always like, oh, he should have stuck to his guns, and he should have got more done, and he should have pushed that. And now that he, It's
damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. And see, the thing, here's what he ran on. He ran on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting it done. He ran on cutting taxes. He did that. It's done. It's in the books. He's run on getting rid of Obamacare. That sounds like that's going to end here soon because, I don't know if you know, but in Texas, it's in the Texas courts that it's unconstitutional, so maybe we'll be able to get rid of it.
Sure.
And if it goes up to the Supreme Court, they're thinking it'll pass, meaning it won't be considered a tax anymore, how they ran it through the last time. So everything he said he's going to do, he's done. So if you respect anybody, at least respect that he keeps his word. I understand he's brash, he's immoral.
Sure.
He's ridiculous sometimes. Like, I like the guy, like, I voted for him, and I am going to vote for him again. But he speaks, he needs a mouth break.
Sure.
He needs something that he says the words, and then he hears them again, and then he gets to say it again.
Look, I agree with you, and I know we're throwing it out there. We're probably getting too political, but I do want to preface that I didn't, when people started throwing in their names in the hat for president, I wasn't right off the bat, I'm voting for Trump.
No, I didn't vote for him in the primary.
He was my least favorite, but when it came down to who are you going to vote for, we had two choices, right?
I wanted Rand Paul to win, and he was out early.
He was out early, but ultimately we had two choices when it came down to it. Two. That was really it. It was Hillary or Trump. And I'm sorry, a lot of people voted for Trump to not vote for Hillary.
Yeah, and the thing is so you've seen some of who they've put forward this time,
sure.
Right? Boy, that is a group of misfits.
I think Homer Simpson should run.
I think Biden's their best chance.
I do.
But I think he's a little whack, too.
They're going to want to fist fight that one.
I tell you. They need to think about it because
Biden is now everybody's got a little bit of fucked up in them. We had that conversation before, right? Like, everybody's got enough.
He's a little creepy.
A little crazy in there, right?
Yeah.
The dude's been through some stuff too, which sometimes takes that creepy, which can bring out that creepy
His
even
thing
more.
with kids, and I'm
weird,
sure
right?
he means nothing by it, and I mean that with all sincerity.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want him hugging my kid. I don't want anybody hugging my kid like that.
Who was it? Chappelle that was talking about Bush when he was like, oh no, I think maybe it was Clinton. I don't remember. It was in one of his stand-up specials when he was like, "Nah, that's my guy." He's like, "You hugging a little black baby." Oh, let me see that black kid right there.
So who? Bernie's running. Beto O'Rourke is running.
Bernie terrifies me.
Bernie is not good.
No.
You listen. If Biden wins, I'll be okay because I figure, I don't agree with a lot of things he thinks.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like the country is going to turn into a socialist death trap.
Correct.
If Bernie wins, I don't know.
I don't think Biden could be any worse than Bill.
Actually, Biden would be close to Bill Clinton, which would be okay.
Which is fine.
I think he'd be less Obama and more Clinton.
And that's okay. And
Clinton, by today's standards, would be a Republican.
Correct.
Look at his stance. He was totally for a border wall. Mm-hmm. Maybe not a wall, but immigration he was against.
Strong borders.
Well, not immigration, but illegal immigration.
Illegal immigration. Strong borders. Right? I think that's the term.
Yeah, and seriously, by today's standards, he is if not a blue dog Democrat, he's a Republican.
Oh, he was definitely more central than the liberal Democrats.
Actually, he was anti-gay marriage too.
He was.
Yeah.
So was Hillary.
Yeah.
Until it became convenient. But not trying to say, look, Republicans. I mean, if you look, I was watching a lot of conspiracy theory stuff because of you.
Yeah, you get in the wormhole.
You get in the wormhole, and it talks a lot about left and right. And ideals, and if you think about it, a lot of stuff is flip-flopped because a lot of Republicans are representing which would have been like Democratic views a long time ago, right? How it's kind of just like doing a rotation where now it's not about the actual stances. It's about what side are you on?
You show me a hot button topic, right?
Yep.
And then I'm going to pick a side.
Yep.
That's what politics is.
I firmly believe, do you want to keep going on politics or you want to move on to the next topic?
I'm good on politics for 7 hours.
I know, we can go forever. But I firmly believe, and I say this with all honesty, and it's very similar to my view on just religion in general, right? You cannot, however you want to word it, you cannot live in a divided country, or you cannot thrive in a divided country. You can't. It's stalemate, right? A divided country is stalemate, and that's what every presidential election has been like, at least since I can remember being able to vote. It's just been...
The only time we united was 9/11 in my lifetime.
Okay.
As a whole.
And I will definitely agree with you on that, and I think that's fucked up.
Yeah, it takes several thousand Americans dying for us to realize that we are one.
We used to get united over something like a mass shooting.
We used to get united over a stupid music video where all the famous singers of the time got together and sang, "We are the one."
And to play devil's advocate, right? A lot of Republicans fucked that sort of stuff up when they just labeled all the celebrities Democrat. And then all the celebrities fucked that up when they decided that they were just going to vote or just be Democrat regardless of who's running, right? So let's just say you had, let's just say Brad Pitt decides he wants to run. And he never says where he's running, right? Brad Pitt decides he wants to run. All the celebrities are like, dude, I got you. I'm going to vote for you. And then all of a sudden he comes out and he's like, I'm running Republican.
And then he loses half his voters.
And he loses half his voters, right?
Well, what's his name? Man, I'm having a brain fart. The guy that owns Starbucks that said he's going to run independent. That's why he's running independent. He says
you can't pick a side.
Well, he said the left is loony. He said he says he's a Democrat.
Sure.
But he said he can't run Democrats because Democrats have gotten so far left that they're almost communist.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to get about Sanders. I forgot I was going to say it. So, too much socialism scares the shit out of me.
There needs to be no socialism.
Well,
what happened to the days that we were taught in school that socialism was bad?
Yeah.
We associated socialism with communism. Communism is socialism, pretty much.
And you do know that was a democratic view. Anti-socialism was a democratic view.
Well, if you remember, ask not what you can do for yourself, but what you can do for your country.
Yeah.
It's Kennedy. He's a Democrat.
I'm telling you. And Republicans were the ones that wanted to introduce a little bit more social programs.
Like I said,
the idea
show
was,
me a hot button and we'll pick a side.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And to be honest with you, like, I would love to have a big enough following that you and I could run as completely independents just to fuck everything up. And when it comes down to election day, just be like, nah, we withdrew. We're out. I don't want the job. But the idea is I want somebody to come in. I would vote independent if it made a difference.
I'm going to vote for what my voters voted for me, but my stance is going to be my true stance. I think that's where they get screwed up, though, is they... Beto O'Rourke, by the way, came out and told everybody, I'll be whatever you want me to be. No.
No, I don't want that.
No.
I don't want that.
You stand for something, and then I vote for you because I believe in what you stand for. You don't wish-wash like that.
Yeah, what I have a problem with is it's like wrong that I'm not allowed to think that I do want strong borders because I don't want people just being able to look. I don't want people to just. I've seen too many like narco shows on Netflix. I don't want people to just come over, fuck shit up, and then leave, right? Or continue to fuck shit up and we can't catch them because they're not legal, right? And then on the same side, I want programs for people like veterans that can't find work. I want programs like that's a democratic type of a thing, is it not? I'm trying to, I don't know where that stands, but I want to help people that can't help themselves, not people that are not willing to help themselves. But for example, Habitats for Humanity, right? I think it's a great program.
But once again, we're talking about a private sector thing.
Of course we are.
I believe it should be private. I'm anti-government, so...
No, I get it. But yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't want to go and vote for what I believe in, but it comes with all this other bullshit.
What I believe in, it has nothing to do with what our government has come to today. And sure. I said I'm anti-government. I'm not anti-government. I'm pro-small government. Sure. And the problem is, and here's where we've been brainwashed, and then we'll get off this topic. We've been brainwashed because how many times on the news or how many times have you heard people talk and they say the democracy of the United States?
Yeah.
You know we're not a democracy.
Yep.
We're a republic. Yep. Totally different. And people are forgetting that we're founded as a republic, and if we could get back to being a republic, all of these problems would fix themselves. Because in a republic, there's checks and balances. There is not in a democracy.
Right. Democracy is essentially everybody gets to say so. No?
And democracy will eventually die because the upper class will take it over.
Sure.
Republics don't get taken over.
And that's the other side of the coin. Republics do tend to favor upper class or those who can... lobby for votes, essentially, right? That doesn't mean that there isn't some... Here's another thing, too. Why does the form of government that we have right now, why does that have to be the end-all, be-all?
Because of the Constitution. And it's what makes us different from every other country in the world is we have a Constitution.
We do. And again, that is true. But look at all the... I'm opening up a can of worms, but look at all the old, or you want to call like the ancient governments, the Romans, the Greeks, etc. I mean, they all failed for reasons, right? And a lot of them probably evolving too much, right? So it went from being, there was emperors to what did they call the
Roman Empire fell because it got too top heavy and then they screwed themselves.
Well, is that
kind of sounds familiar?
Sounds familiar. So that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is that it's like too Republican. You know what I'm saying? Like too much of a republic where they still needed.
Well, no, that's a democracy.
Checks
a democracy
and balances
is top heavy, whereas a republic is not. We could go for hours.
Yeah, no, I think about this shit all the time, especially because I'm very fascinated in, like Roman history and Greek history, and it just fascinates me.
See, to put it in layman's terms, I think is democracy can be ruled by the population, meaning the popular vote, which we know that a republic cannot, because a republic is divided equally amongst the regions, not the actual people, but amongst the regions.
Correct.
So that way you don't have inner cities judging what Midwest America
Which
does.
Makes a lot of sense because, again, I don't need to explain that, but if you look at the population you can take the population of like Chicago, New York, and LA, the cities all are going to, in a republic standpoint, they will replace
90% of the United States.
Correct. You're talking about, so any Republican in the Midwest would not really have their voice heard.
Which, getting back to the Republic, why you need to have states' rights and why they're very important.
Correct.
So,
and we're bigger. We have states that are bigger than countries, right?
Yeah, Alaska.
So state government, I think, I don't know. State government, I think, needs to be better and less, what do you want me to do, Big Brother? You know what I'm saying? They need to be a little bit more free. I don't know.
Well, we need to get off this because
Yep.
I'm telling you, I can go for
We're
days.
pissing people off. I can tell already.
So, real quick, Robert Kraft in the news has turned down his plea deal. He was asked to, I forget if it was just to pay a very small fine, and then he would have to admit guilt.
You have to admit guilt. Hold on. Okay, so on Tuesday, he and his team officially submitted a plea deal of not guilty to the 2 charges. He's accused of paying for essentially illicit services. I think I know why. I think I heard why. I think that by admitting guilt, it would have released the video footage.
Right. So he's trying to stifle the footage from coming out, and the reason why is he doesn't. I don't think he really cares about the situation, and I'll tell you more that you probably haven't heard. What he does care about is the second that he says that he did it, then he can get in trouble with the NFL. Then the NFL can either fine him, suspend him, possibly make him sell the team.
I was going to say, if they wanted to, they can force him out of the team.
Like that guy that used to own the Clippers that said all the racist remarks.
Yeah.
To his black girlfriend, by the way, which was really weird.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder if he was set up.
I'm sure he was. But still.
It doesn't matter.
I heard a comedian talk about it, and he's like, this is a 70-something-year-old man with a black girlfriend. What did you expect him to say? Like, I thought that was funny, though, right?
It is funny.
Yeah. But
you know, I prefer to get most of my news, as long as the facts are accurate. I would love to get most of my news in the form of comedy.
Yeah.
Because it comes to you real. You know what I'm saying? It comes to you real with perspective attached to it, not just you read something that somebody typed and you can't quite tell what their agenda was before they typed it, and then once you read it, it's obvious what their agenda is. Listening to a comedian just say something like that, I think it just makes things a little bit easier.
You want to know why I think he's not guilty?
Why?
More's come out. So he has a driver, right?
Not guilty as in maybe he was set up, or...
No, he wasn't set up. What happened there, but this is why I don't think he knew what was going on. Because, first off, Robert Kraft has to be a smart person to get where he got.
Sure.
I think he's first generation, so he made everything, I don't know. I don't know, but he's done well with himself. You figure he's at least a little bit intelligent, right?
Yeah.
So, that being said...
He's got a football team.
He got pulled over, I think a day or a week before, I forget exactly, being driven by his driver from a police officer coming out of that establishment, asking for his license, scanning people that are going out of there. They were obviously doing the sting. They were seeing who was coming and going.
Okay.
He wasn't driving, so the fact that they asked him for his ID and his driver wasn't pulled over for really anything, red flag would go up in the air if you were in there getting a rub and tug.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So if you were in there getting a rub and tug and now you're getting pulled over coming out and you're getting your license looked at, are you going to go back the next day?
No, I mean...
No, you're not. But he did. Meaning to me that he's not that stupid, so he wasn't doing anything. Maybe that was going on, but even as the people that were actually doing that, like the masseuses, or whatever you're going to call them, they may have not involved him because they know who he is, right?
Right.
So they may have done that all day long, but the second he comes in there, like, oh, that's Robert Kraft, we can't offer that to him because he's in a position of power. He's going to tell on us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I don't believe he's that stupid.
No.
But then again, he may be.
I have to put my take on stuff like this because it wouldn't be our show unless I did so. So, my thought. Two things in all seriousness. You go into one of those establishments, and look, I've been in one. You've been to a masseuse? No. I've been to a masseuse. I actually only went twice, and the first time it threw me off because again, I'm a male. I was in there as a woman, and I was asked to remove my clothes. And right away you're like, there's just something weird because I can't just go up to a girl and be like, take off your clothes and wear this towel and let me rub on you, right?
They won't let you leave like your underwear on?
You can, but they recommend the towel or just the towel.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Plus, I ain't letting anybody touch me.
There are reasons that do make sense, right? Especially if you wore like, let's say you wore like really tight underwear or something like that, and they were trying to work on your, like you came in there like, oh, I'm having a problem with my quad, right? And your tight underwear is like literally like pinching a muscle somewhere up there. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I can see it being a problem. But let's just say you get rubbed in the magical spot and all of a sudden you spring a boner and she grabs it. Are you now guilty of getting a hand job?
I love how the camera's on me. First off, I'm not going to be in that situation.
Okay, it's not you, but anybody, right? So you pop...
I think it's on your reaction because they say that they have film of this, right? So if somebody grabs your junk and you jump off the table and go, absolutely not, miss, like, you're not going to be found guilty.
But my point is, in any normal circumstance, right? If a girl walked through that door right now and she wasn't here to give hand jobs, but she was just like, oh, I'm here to clean your house. Oh, I brushed against your wiener and I want to rub it for you. Most guys are not going to say no. Most guys.
Oh, I am. Because okay. I'll tell you why. And you'll agree with me. First off, that's a setup. Ain't nothing ever like that going to happen 100% in real life. It's a setup. And I assure you, somebody sent them in there to try to get you in trouble.
100%. But think about being a single guy, right? So if you're a single guy and you're at the bar and some girl is...
well, then I'm going to think the girl has something. Well, because no girl comes on to any guy like that.
No, but let's just say she doesn't come on offering you a hand job, but let's just say she's coming on flirty, and you and 8 other people go back to your house or whatever the deal is, right? And it doesn't mean guys, girls, whatever. You're continuing the party after hours, right? But she's been flirting with you. Maybe she's even, touched you a little bit, and she's coming back with you to the house, right? So there are things that are happening now that make it look like this person is interested in you, right? And then somehow or another you're naked and in bed, and now you're an asshole because you slept with this girl, or now you're being framed for something. You get what I'm trying to say? It's kind of like you're
or you do the deed and then what? She goes, that's going to be $300, like you see on movies.
Yeah, which could be really effed up, right? But I guess my point is you're going somewhere where there's a certain level of intimacy already involved. You're being massaged, right? For anybody to say that there is no intimacy in that, you're lying to yourself, right? You're more exposed than you probably are to your wife on normal circumstances, right? And you're being rubbed. And again, girl starts grabbing you. What if she doesn't ask? What if she's just like, she brushes the nuts a couple times and she sees that you pop a boner and she's like, let me be nice and jerk this guy off, and she starts doing it. Most people in that circumstance are probably not going to say no. Because you're already in a position, you're already naked.
And again, I'm never going to a massage parlor.
Yeah.
Weird fact about me, and it is true. I can't stand it when people touch me. Like, period.
It bothers me too.
I don't like it, especially when somebody touches my back. And the only person that's allowed to do that is my kids and my wife. I hate it.
I hate my head or my face being touched.
I don't want anybody near me. My dang bubble is bigger than most people's, and like when somebody has that small bubble and they're in my face, I will literally like back up, and if they follow, the ones that follow you in,
yeah,
I will push them back. Not like violently, but like
you
stay here.
Keep your hand in the same spot as you're backing up, where you're like,
God, those people that got like that 6-inch bubble, I just wonder what happened to them to make them like that.
What makes me the most uncomfortable, one of the most uncomfortable things ever. Is, let's just say you're in a noisy place. I don't like to talk loud. Like in a perfect world, I'm not talking very loud. It's a mellow conversation.
Morgan says I'm always yelling.
But do you feel like when you go to places like that, I feel like I'm always yelling too, because I don't want to be two inches away from you. I want to be as far away as we are now.
This is the reason I won't eat at Cracker Barrel.
That makes sense. It's loud.
Yes.
It's very loud. But that's kind of the same point, right? It's like I want us to have a good distance and still have a conversation. So I'd rather yell than get all up in your ear. And then I get home in the morning, I'm like, my voice is still tired. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's because I didn't want to be 2 inches from Kevin the whole night.
You mean like how we have to yell into these mics?
Yeah, it wears me out. It wears me out. And I always, like, normally I want to talk like this. It'd be fine, whatever. But, we get people like Bob complain.
We need to enunciate.
Anyway, so you really don't think he's guilty?
No, I don't. I really don't. We're going to find out, though, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's just unfortunate. And I think prostitution should be illegal.
Legal or illegal?
Legal, without the I. It is honestly one of the oldest trades.
I don't because of the AIDS epidemic.
I agree with that, but like anything else that's legal, put rules and regulations.
And like with any other rules and regulations, they will skirt it and then there'll be AIDS everywhere.
Sure, but think about what's spreading the AIDS now. Dirty, nasty, raunchy strippers that are working after hours. You get what I'm trying to say?
And here's the thing. Have you ever asked like your group of friends like who's ever done that?
No.
There's a lot more than you think.
That have done what? Sold themselves?
No, I don't.
Gone the other way around?
Yeah, guys going after them.
Yeah. It's kind of
like
weird.
Like a good amount.
Yeah?
A good amount.
I don't know.
I find it highly disgusting.
I find it disgusting too, but my thought is, again, I don't know. My thought is something like this Kraft situation where his wife's dead, right?
Yeah, but he's a bazillionaire. All he has to do is show up at any local bar.
Correct. But that's frowned upon now.
But who cares? It's legal.
But you
like
get
if you are... Listen, he doesn't care about morality if he's doing that.
Well, I guess what I'm getting at with him is he now has to develop a relationship with somebody, even if it's just going to a bar and being like, I'm Robert Kraft. But again...
I honestly don't think so. I think he could be like, hey, you want to go in my Bentley with my driver?
Because they think they're getting money.
Yeah, but that's what the Chinese prostitute he was supposedly with was doing.
So why not just make that legal so that there's a contract involved and this man doesn't have to worry about,
Another question just popped in my head. He's rich enough that he could have easily taken a private jet to Vegas and gone to the Bunny Ranch.
Sure.
So somebody that has that type of money and can be there in 2 hours, why would he bother with some crap hole if he wasn't really getting a real massage?
Too old for Vegas. He was coming to Florida to die like everybody else.
I'm telling you, there's too many things that would lead you to believe he wasn't doing that.
I don't know that...
Too much to lose.
It probably wasn't the intention, but I definitely think he got jerked off.
Or maybe he'd been going there a lot and he got that syndrome like a lot of my friends had when we were younger, and they go to strip clubs and they think they were actually dating the girl at the strip club, right?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, I got to go see my girl. Dude, that's not your girl. I remember I had a couple friends, I won't name them, and they would just go there every weekend and like mentally, and I would tell them, this ain't your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
They'd be like, come to the strip club with me. I'm like, no,
Very
I'm not
weird.
going.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not dating them. They're
Yeah.
dating every dude in there.
Again, I think we've even talked about this before, the How I Met Your Mother episode with Barney when he's in love with the stripper and she will only meet him at the strip club, and he can...
I had 3 friends that were like
she
that.
can only talk to him while they're having a private dance. You know what I'm saying?
This wasn't that bad. But
Every night it's like $350 just to see her, and then he's like, flips out on her, but it turns out that she actually did like him. It's just really funny because it turns out to what you would hope every situation like that was going to turn out to. But really, they don't turn out that way.
That's a whole nother thing. Imagine if you really were... I mean, most of those strippers have boyfriends. I mean, in real life.
Yeah, I don't know how serious those relationships are, though.
They can't be too serious.
They can't be.
I'd like to have one on just like the boyfriend.
Yeah.
And ask how in the world they... Dude, old men and...
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
God, that's why I don't like strip clubs. That's another reason. I say it's because I'm cheap and I don't want to give them money. But they are on people all day, and that's disgusting.
I think that if it was a legalized... Like, if sex work was like a legalized thing, I think you would see the quality of all those places improve. That's just my thought. That's just my thought, because you have the people that would do it in a heartbeat.
Kind of like weed dispensaries, how they're nice and clean and look like Starbucks. Like,
yeah.
You'd have the Starbucks of hookers.
Well, it's kind of my thought, right? Because they don't need the gutter trash that's out there now who's trying to do it on the side. They're talking about people that, like, this is their profession. I don't know, man. I don't know. They wouldn't have to sit on corners. They would have, like, stores.
I would also like to do a poll and find out how many of these strippers actually did get their graduate's degree.
Strippers come in 3 stories.
Yep.
College student, single mom, drug addict.
Yep. Wipe your nose. And if you haven't seen that movie, that's the goods.
That movie's amazing.
Yes, it is.
How'd you know? Wipe your nose.
How far? What are we at time-wise? We definitely have 2 shows worth.
It's 55 minutes.
Well, let's do the movie thing, and then we can do a
Wrap
second.
it up?
Yeah.
All right, so what do you have for a movie? Because I have something, too.
Well, you sprung it on me because I expected to say that later. So I'm watching a Hulu special right now because it can be TV shows, too, right?
Yeah. Mine's a TV show.
And it is about a girl that was grown up with her mother that pretended to her, made her believe that she had all these illnesses, right? To the point she even had a feeding tube. I'm looking up the name of it.
Is this a true story or is just a? It's
a
show?
true story.
It is.
The girl grew up her whole life thinking she was unable to walk, and for some reason I can't pull up the name of it. Anyways, I'll come to it when you're talking about yours.
Awesome.
But anyways, she ends up finding out later on that her mom was making up all this stuff.
So fucked up.
And she kills her mom. So I haven't seen the whole thing. I do know she kills her mom because it's kind of in the preview, and also it's a true story, and the girl's in jail. Here's why I wanted to bring this one up. If your parents did the same thing to you and literally made you believe, first off, she'd shave her head, so she thought she had cancer or something.
Golly.
Right? So she had no hair. She would wear these glasses. I don't even think she needed the glasses, like the big, like, bottle cap glasses, right?
Mm-hmm.
She'd have to sleep with a mask on because supposedly she couldn't breathe. Wasn't allowed to have sugar.
It's like
she
Bubble
said,
Boy.
Worse.
Oh my god.
So she had to, like, she wasn't allowed to have Coke or any sugar because her mom told her she was allergic to sugar. And one time she caught her eating sugar and, like, got her with an EpiPen. Like, didn't need the EpiPen, but, you know, stabbed her in the leg with it.
Yeah, put some fear in you.
Yeah, like, feeding tube. Real feeding tube.
Dude, that's crazy.
Right. So she figures out one day she's not allergic to sweets, so she starts eating sweets in the middle of the night. So this is her rebellious years. She's probably about 13, 14. And she starts eating sweets every night while her mom's asleep. And she figures out she can walk, so she walks to the fridge, right? It sounds like a horror movie, but it's real. And so her teeth end up rotting, right? So her mother gets all her teeth pulled, which they should have been done, but doesn't get her dentures. And her mother's reasoning for this was she wanted her to get, like, some special award from the Needy Kids Foundation or something like that.
Shut the fuck up.
Right. So when she sends them the picture, like, you know, people's face are sunken if they're missing their teeth. And right before the award ceremony, she gives her false teeth. She's had them the whole time for months. Doesn't give her teeth. Like, stuff like that. That's how far I've gotten in the show. I do know eventually she stabs her, kills her.
That's so messed up, man.
But here's what I wanted to say. So she's in jail right now for 10 years, which is a little low for premeditated murder. But I feel it shouldn't have been at all. Like, you were imprisoned. Like, if you were, okay, if somebody, remember those 3 girls that got found that were tied up by that crazy guy for several years and they got loose and got out?
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
I do.
well,
That was a fucked up story, man.
Yeah, but if they would have killed that guy and got out, do you think they'd have gone to jail?
No.
So why is this girl going to jail? She was mentally trapped by her mother since she was a child. She had a 4th grade education because her mom didn't teach her anything. She was literally a prisoner because how would you know any better?
Hey, I think she lived in a whole different set of rules. She lived in a whole different world.
She knew nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so I don't know that slides in the fact that, I know you're fine, because she also is a 4th grade educated person. You get what I'm trying to say? But there's got to be some, like, let her off, reintroduce her to society, give her an attempt to have a normal life. I think that's on the mom, man. It's a fucked up situation.
Well, she's dead now. The show's called The Act. Good name for it.
The Act.
Yes, The Act. I wouldn't. I was really hoping, because we do rate this show.
Yeah.
I do find it fascinating. The girl's name, by the way, was Gypsy. Her mom was Dee Dee. And you can look it up. It's the Blanchards is how it's spelled. I thought it was Blanchards. But anyways, true story. Girl's still in jail. They're appealing it. Obviously, the Hulu show is going to help.
Mm-hmm.
But the show itself, I was expecting kind of a Netflix Stephen Avery Making of a Murderer style thing, and it's not that. It's a show, and it kind of drags. Like, you would expect it to be a lot better.
Oh, so it's more like an actual, if you didn't tell me it was a true story, I would have just thought it was a show watching it.
It says in the beginning it's a true story, but it's a show. It's not a documentary. But it's a little bland. But it's probably bland because they don't, fake anything in it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these stories are based on true events, right? And then they, fabricate stuff to make the story more entertaining. Whereas this one, I believe it's real. It's okay. It's like a 5. But
we go out of 10? 5 out of 10?
Yeah.
All right, 5 out of 10.
Which, by the way, Stephen Avery supposedly is getting another trial.
Really?
Did you watch Making of a Murderer?
I did. I did. The show itself kind of sucked.
So I was in it.
See, I wasn't in it. So the show itself sucked. So what I did was I started just looking up the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just tried getting the real story and just fuck the show.
He's either the stupidest or most unlucky guy in the world.
Well, I think he's highly unlucky, but I think he puts himself in a lot of those situations.
After the more I thought about it, watched it, and tried to get away with the biased nature of that documentary, I do think he did it.
I think he did it too, but again, I don't know anything, but don't put me on
once
that jury.
again, he's convicted in jail. I think we can say.
Yeah, I think he fucking did it.
Whatever.
Well, just I thought O.J. Simpson did it too.
Oh, listen. Get in trouble or not, O.J. did it. I said that.
He did it.
Me.
He had to have done it.
I don't care if the isotoners fit or not. Leather shrinks over time.
Yeah. Hey, so I started watching a show on Netflix that I watched several years ago on TV. And I had only caught a couple of episodes. I don't know why. I think it came on after The Walking Dead. But do you remember the Badlands?
No.
Okay. So the Badlands is kind of like a Sin City-ish. I know we both kind of like that style cinema.
Yes.
It's a Sin City-ish, post-apocalyptic. I thought it was going to be like zombies and shit like that. No. It's post-apocalyptic meets kung fu. So essentially, people have swords, bows, and arrows in, a post-apocalyptic world. No guns. Guns have been taken away. And I guess the story was, that humanity essentially destroyed itself, and then they formed barons, which are like territories. So the barons are like...
But they still have motorcycles.
Yeah.
But they haven't figured out how to make guns.
No, I think they did, but I forget whatever reason. I think they're just completely outlawed. They're completely outlawed.
That always works.
Yeah. So, but anyway, look, I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10. But if you break down the elements to it, it's got the Sin City effect. The Sin City effect, in my opinion, gives you at least 3 stars. Right? 3 out of 10.
It's kind of like if you're ugly and you can play guitar.
Yeah.
It'll get you an extra point.
It'll get you an extra point or two. As it dragged on, it's definitely an old show. I think there's 3 seasons. One I just finished. I'm caught up. I don't know if there's a new one coming out. Look, I'd give it 6. It's got some sword fighting. It's got ninjas. All the stuff that I think I would really like.
Well, I just looked it up, and the season finale is supposed to be May 6, 2019, and it doesn't seem like it's ending, so it's hanging in there. Is it a Netflix-only thing, or is it one of the ones they re-air on TV?
Sorry, I think I fucking cut my foot on something.
Oh, it's AMC.
It's AMC.
Okay.
Yeah, so it had to have come after The Walking Dead or something like that, right? Because that's what The Walking Dead is, AMC.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I mean, I thought it was kind of cool. I do like, remember Jet Li's The One?
Yeah.
Okay, so I liked, look, most martial arts are not going to be flying all over the place and being able to just do a triple backflip while standing. You know what I mean?
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
Yeah, it's like that. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. So I would give it probably 7. 7 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah. I liked it.
Dang it. Now I got to watch it.
I mean, watch a couple, see if you like it. And then, because, Netflix likes to recommend stupid shit to you after you watch stupid shit, they just send you down a freaking wormhole.
That's how I found the Flat Earth one.
Fuck. So dumb. Remember we watched Triple Frontier?
Yes.
So
I watched half and turned it off.
Because we watched Triple Frontier, a movie got recommended, and that was called The Hard Way. Do not watch The Hard Way. It's a hard way for you to spend an hour and a half.
It can't be worse than Killer Donuts.
No, I don't know, dude. This is terrible. Put it this way. The main bad guy is, or not the main bad guy, what is he? Like the antagonist? The one of the main people you don't like is Randy Couture.
Okay.
Right? Not the best actor.
No, but I love him in Guardians of the Galaxy. Isn't that him?
No, that's Batista.
No, Batista.
That's Batista. Batista's great because he just owns that role.
Yes.
He owns that role. Randy Couture.
I know who you're talking about now. I got him mixed up.
He was also in, what are those other movies with all the old people?
The Expendables.
Yeah. So, look, I started with wanting to give this thing a 4. I'm giving this thing a 2. I am. I'm giving this thing a 2. It was terrible. The acting was terrible. It doesn't even end good. It's just, it's a what the fuck did I just watch kind of a deal. But again, cool fighting.
Well, another one I started, and I've only watched the first episode, and I'm into it, but Morgan seems uninterested, which is a good sign. I'll like it. I mean, that's pretty much how it works, except for Game of Thrones. It's the only one we really agree on. That and Teen Mom. But, yeah, but is The Widow, and it's on Amazon Prime. Hey, we're getting out of Netflix with me now. I'm in Hulu and Prime.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Yeah. If you want to borrow my logins, you're more than welcome, by the way, if you don't have Hulu.
I don't have Hulu, but we have Prime. What's The Widow about?
The Widow is about her husband works and gets caught in like a crossfire of a South American, like, you know how it's like pretty much guerrilla warfare over there in certain places. Gets caught up in that. He is supposedly supposed to have been on a flight back home that crashes, but they find what they think is him on a video. I'm not too deep into it yet, but like she thought her husband was dead and he may not be. That's where I am now. But it's supposedly really good, and it has Kate Beckinsale in it.
I like Kate Beckinsale.
So it's got a big actress. So that's their one they put all their money into.
What are you giving it?
So far, I'm giving it like an 8.
Oh, nice.
But I'm only one episode in, so they always start good with the pilot.
Yeah, there's another show that I've been watching too. I say been watching. I caught one episode, and I don't know if I'm going to rush to get more episodes in, but Cocaine Coast.
Never heard of it.
So I'm going to watch that. I'm not going to give a rating on it yet. I'm going to watch a couple more episodes because right now I'm telling you that like plot and everything like that is typical to most of those other Narcos type of shows. Okay. But it's got that thing where the original language must have been like Spanish or something like that.
I hate that.
And so they've got somebody speaking in English.
Nope. Can't do it if their mouth don't line up.
It doesn't line up. It looks like our shit that we put on YouTube. It's very tough to watch.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. That's a tough one.
I finished Umbrella Academy. Listen, I went into that with no expectations. I thought it looked really stupid.
Same.
It is amazing.
It's a good show.
It really is.
Yeah, I like it.
It's an 8.5.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'd probably give it... Yeah, I'd probably give it between 7 and 8. I'd give it an 8.
Dude, it is good.
It's pretty good.
I'm thinking about watching it again and making Morgan watch it because...
I bet there's shit we missed.
I watch a lot of stuff that I think Morgan will hate, and then I end up going, she'd have liked that. And then I make her watch it, and I sit there and watch it again.
Yeah, it had... I don't know. The characters were good in there.
Dude, the one junkie guy is the best actor.
I like him. And especially watching the whole thing through, like, he was pretty big in it, which was cool. Yeah, it was good. I think they kind of left it open, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they'll definitely.
Oh, it ain't over.
And that's a Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then they'll probably do another season, I would think.
But, I think so. Well,
all right.
I think that wraps it up. And do yourselves a favor and go check us out on www.ordinaryguyshow.com. Again, we have some stuff up there for sale. Show us some support. I'll put like a dollar item on there. I'll find a sticker or something so you guys can.
We're supposed to get stickers.
Yeah,
we're supposed to get stickers for people. I say let's get some stickers, and we can. I'll
put them in the shop.
We'll try to do it as cheap as possible.
Yep. Right. Actually, I'm trying to do it as cheap as possible on all our stuff. I think our shirt's like $18, so
it's not bad considering.
They can get up there.
Yeah.
Some of them I see for certain shows are like 35.
Yeah, and it sucks because you want one and you can relate, knowing like in the position that we're in, like you can relate and know that like they probably couldn't get it much cheaper, especially if it's a decent quality shirt.
Yeah.
With a decent print, you know.
It's crazy how expensive nice shirts are.
Yeah, and especially if you're talking about like a front and back, because I love a logo on the back. That's my favorite type of shirt.
I was going to make one of those as well. In fact, I think on our site you can customize it. I have to look into that. But go check that out. Also, we are up and running on all platforms now.
All platforms.
Think of it, we got it. But the main ones we like to put out there, of course, is YouTube. If I had my choice, I'd say go watch us there. But we're also on iTunes and Google Play. Those are our top three. But any podcast app, anything, even iTunes or iHeartRadio, we're on there too. So make sure you go there, and if you could do us a favor, just, if you like us, leave a description of how wonderful we are. If you don't like us, don't.
Yeah. If you don't like us, you can still leave us a description of how wonderful we are. We'd appreciate that even more, knowing that you didn't like us and you still did something sweet.
Yes.
What was... Damn it, I was going to say something else, too. I lost it.
It was perfect. The ending was going so well.
Golly.
He'll think of it by the next show. But, hey, we're going to cut this one off here, but we're going to do a secondary show, so make sure you come and listen to the follow-up to this.
All right, everybody. Peace.